You served with pride, with structure, with sacrifice. You trained for the unexpected. You planned ahead, for your team, for your country. But most veterans never get the chance to do the same for their own family. Not because they don't care, but because no one ever told them the truth about what happens after. And if you've looked into veteran life insurance before, you've probably seen the same names over and over again. VA Life, VGLI. Maybe you've been told those are your only two options, that they're official, reliable, safe. And while it's true they were created with good intentions, the reality is, neither one was built to take care of the most basic and most emotional part of life after service. What happens when you're gone? What happens? Let's start with VA Life, the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs life insurance program. The maximum coverage is $40,000, and it sounds great at first. No medical exam, no pressure. But here's the part most veterans only find out when it's too late. VA Life has a 2-year waiting period. That means if you pass away within those first 2 years, your loved ones might only get back what you paid into the plan. Just the premiums, no death benefit. Imagine your spouse or child planning your funeral and finding out the policy you thought would cover everything doesn't kick in until next year. Now let's look at VGLI, Veterans Group Life Insurance. If you had SGLI in the military, you likely had the option to convert to VGLI. You can get high coverage amounts, even up to $400,000, but there's a cost, a big one. VGLI is term-based, and the price increases every 5 years. At age 40, it might still feel affordable. At 50, it gets tight. At 60, it can be over $300 a month. And by 70, many veterans simply can't afford to keep it. That's what makes VGLI as dangerous. You may have kept up with the premiums for decades, only to be priced out when your family is most at risk. So here's the question that matters. What kind of coverage will actually be there when your family needs it? And the answer, for many veterans, is final expense life insurance, also called burial insurance or senior life. These are simple, permanent policies designed for one specific purpose: to make sure your family isn't left with the financial burden of your passing. No one wants to think about it. But funerals today cost between $9,000 and $15,000 on average. Cremation might be less, but there are still costs: urns, services, transportation, and more. Add medical bills, hospice, unpaid utilities, travel costs for family. The numbers add up fast. Now imagine your loved ones dealing with grief, while also scrambling to figure out how to pay for everything. That's what final expense coverage prevents. These policies typically offer between $10,000 and $40,000 in permanent coverage. The benefits never go down, the premiums never go up, and the policy never expires, as long as you make your payments. More importantly, you're covered from day one. There is no waiting period like VA Life. And unlike VGLI, there's no 5-year price hike chasing you as you age. You don't lose it, you don't outgrow it. You don't have to guess. And most of the time, you don't even need a medical exam. Some plans are simplified issue, meaning they just ask a few health questions. Others are guaranteed issue, no health questions at all. You qualify no matter what. These plans are backed by A-rated national carriers, names you recognize, and they're approved and regulated by the state you live in. So how do you get one? That's where the veteran-approved state facilitator comes in. This isn't a random sales rep. It's a licensed professional who's trained specifically to work with veterans, people who understand what you've been through and what your family deserves. They're not there to push one plan. They're there to guide you through real options, real numbers, and real protection. Here's what happens when you speak with a facilitator. First, they'll ask you a few simple questions: your age, your zip code, whether you've used tobacco recently, and what kind of coverage you're hoping for. $10,000 to cover just the basics, or $25,000 or more to help your family breathe a little easier. Then they'll show you real plans, side by side, with fixed rates and exact monthly premiums. No hidden fees, no surprises. And you can apply on the spot. No doctor's appointment, no waiting on paperwork. In most cases, your policy can be active the same day, and your family protected immediately. Let's pause for a second and think through this. What would it feel like to know your spouse won't have to borrow money from relatives? That your kids won't have to dip into their savings just to put you to rest with dignity? That no one will have to launch a GoFundMe or run around looking for a loan during their time of grief? That's what final expense does. It takes the financial pressure off the people you love most, so they can focus on healing, not hustling. And it's more affordable than most people think. Many veterans pay as little as $40, $90 a month for coverage. You can choose the amount you want. You can adjust based on your needs, and the premium never increases. Even if your health changes, even if the market changes, even if you live to 100, you're locked in for life. Now let's be honest, most veterans don't know these plans exist. Why? Because VA Life and VGLI are the loudest voices in the room. But they're not always the right voice for your family. Final expense isn't about government red tape or rising premiums. It's about real-world protection. It's about being ready. And it's about making sure your final gift to your family is peace, not paperwork. So what now? You can take 5 minutes today. Speak to a veteran-approved state facilitator. Get real answers. See your real options. And if it's right for you, secure coverage that starts today. There's no obligation, no pressure, no callback later tactics. Just one decision that removes a future burden from your family. You served your country. You protected your brothers and sisters in arms. Now it's time to protect the people waiting at home. Let this be the plan you get right. Because unlike the others, this one, you still have time to control. Call now or click below to speak with a veteran-approved state facilitator. Ask your questions. Understand your options. And if you're ready, get covered today. We're ready when you are.